Hi there, folks. Well, part two of the questions, giving the answers, slightly different angle today. Thought I was probably getting fed up with the other one. Looks like there's probably going to have to be 3 volumes of this, so better get on with it. So first question was from Wyldwych Ramblings. It's a 2-parter. If you could invite a celeb to dinner from any time past the present, who would that be, and what would I cook for them? Thought about it. I've mentioned celebs before. I'm not a big believer in any different to anybody else, really. So somebody down the street would be as exciting. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Eleanor Bonham Carter, just for the thing that I think it would be quite a flipping experience. I think she's pretty flipping way out. But then that's the thing about getting to meet somebody. You probably find that they're probably totally not what you've always envisaged. Sometimes a person will play a character on TV or film all the time, and you sort of take that as that person, and when you meet them in real life, they can be totally flipping opposite. So a really nice guy on screen can be a right bastard in real life. Can be the other way around, whatever. But I think I'd pick her because she's pretty flipping zany and crazy. So it'd be really nice to chat with her and find out how she ticks. What would I cook for her? I don't know. Is she meat eater, vegetarian? Does she just eat chocolate? I don't know. I'd probably be a flipping gentleman and talk to her, find out what she likes and go from there and surprise her, rather than just dumping something on her. Or might even look it up, find out if she's ever talked about a favourite dish. But then, can you believe everything you hear on the internet? And true to my videos, as soon as I come on, somebody will ting around. So, thank you very much for that question. Yeah, that's more or less the celeb, and I don't know what I'd cook for them. I'd have to find out what made them tick, really. But if it was me, it could be anything under the sun, but I do like cooking hot food like chili and curries, that sort of thing. Next one. There's another name. I think it's right, Accumortis. What are 3 things I can't stand? Right, 3 things I can't stand in life. 2 begin with R. One is rape, one is rap, and the third one is inhumanity to really inhumanity to humans, animals, whatever it is, because humans seem to lately be losing a lot of it. Rape has always been, if not near, it's probably been my pet hate. I flipping deplore it, and I've got no sympathy for anybody that does it. If they got put away for life, I wouldn't care. If they had the death penalty, I wouldn't care. I think it's something that you don't only take. Sometimes they take a person's life. Sometimes they don't kill them to take that life, but they take the spirit away from them and everything, and they take their life away from them. and that can live with them for the rest of it. So I've got not 1 ounce of sympathy, and if I found anybody ever doing it, I would put them in flipping hospital. I really would. And I'm not a violent person, but if I found somebody in that position, bloody beware. I would turn evil. Second part, second question really. What are my favourite subjects at school, and do I still enjoy learning about them today? What were my favourite subjects at school? Art still stands me in good stead. With lots of the bits around me, if I didn't have that bit of artistic flair in me, I wouldn't be able to do lots of the things that I do. My career was in catering, and I've always said that if you want to be a good caterer, you want to be a good chef, you need to have some artistic talent. If you've got no artistic talent at all, you're a bit buggered, really, as you might sort of understand, because a lot of food is to do with the look of it, the taste, the look, textures and everything, and you've got to be artistic to put all that lot together. So art, I loved English, I loved history, geography, woodwork. We used to do woodwork, crafts and all that sort of thing. Flipping loved it. That's probably stood me in good stead. Lots of things that some of the schools don't do anymore. Today, art, yeah, I still love art. I look at the different types of art around, and people inspire me in different directions. Sometimes I see something, I think, oh, I can do that, I'm going to flip and do that, and it'll end up in here somewhere. End up in here. Oh, bloody copycat. English and that, as you can tell, I speak pretty bloody crap English, but that's all to do with my accent. I wasn't learning how to speak English, I was just learning English. Geography, I think in a way we still learn that all the time, don't we? History, well, excuse me. History, I'm really, the older I get, I'm really starting to believe that a lot of history in the past that is English history, American history, German history, whatever, is a load of old bloody cobblers. History sometimes is made at the time to suit a situation or a person or a government, and if you need the people in a certain way, you can control what, maybe not so much now with the internet, but in the past you could control what people thought, what they heard, their thoughts probably for the future, and you could control maybe a lot of the historians. So we know for certain that as time goes on, we're finding more and more out that things that we was fed at school and everywhere just weren't totally bloody correct. And if we look at the USA, one of my pet things is the Native Americans and how they've been bloody subdued and put down ever since somebody put the bloody first foot on the ground, whether it was Columbus or who the hell it was, didn't matter. They've been put down, and the history that we've been taught about is total bloody hogwash. It's about time a lot of the history books were starting to be put bloody right, that people hear the real history of our own countries and peoples. So yeah, that really. So yeah, it's probably as important to me today as it was then. Thank you very much for that one. Hi, Lady Lecter. I think this is sort of two-parter. Are you in a band, as you always have guitars in the background? Do I? If I just move my arm out here, there's one. And yeah, there's quite a few over there. There's some over there. There's some in the other room. There's some on the wall, whatever. No, I'm not in a band. I've never been in a band. I never had any desire to go in that direction and be in a band or anything like that at all, really. I think it's good for some people. Others go in a different direction in life. Let me just see, before I go on, see what the second part was with my glasses. That's nothing to do with that. No, so to finish that bit off, really, I've been into music for years, and the first thing I ever learnt was the Irish whistle, actually. But I was always told flipping go and practice in the flipping bathroom somewhere. So it got harder and harder to practice that, even, you know, because just go and bloody practice somewhere else. You would go and bloody practice on a mountain somewhere, like, that suit you. Anyway, yeah, I've always had a desire to play bass, so that's the direction I went, and I was given a bass by somebody that loved me at the time, not in a partnership way, and so that it's a black bass. That's my special one. So I sort of made a decision at the time that it was just something I wanted to do between me and the bass, really. So yeah, nobody's ever seen me doing anything particular with one. Whether they ever will is another kettle of fish. Who flipping knows? I do. But no, I've never had a desire to be in a band. Part two of the question was, when did I start collecting dolls? I don't know. I don't collect dolls for the word per se. I think it's just happened that over a particular time, I've seen something like I was doing, and I think, I want that doll. And it's mainly to do with the fact that in my place, if there's anything that frightens somebody, I will flipping buy it and I'll put it in here. I'm really trying to get hold of an old looking ventriloquist doll, because they put the crap up people. So clowns, I've got the clowns, I've got Chucky, and which was given to me by Lady Vampiress, and the two dolls that you might have seen that I just bought. Clowns, I've got them around. There's a really old clown about that size in the hall. There's another one that looks like brother to him. I found them at this market. They're pretty flipping old. The second one sits on a box just behind the toilet. So if you don't like clowns, you've always got the feeling he's sitting there behind you. The toilet seat has got this evil looking clown on the inside of it, picture, just the face and hands. And nobody knows that's there until they lift the seat. But if you're going to crap yourself, it's a good place to be in it. So really the dolls came about by buying things that I knew that if anybody coming in would probably sit there a bit uneasy going, I don't like the look of that flipping doll looking at me. So yeah, that's how the collection started. And the next bit of that question is, am I afraid they may turn on me one day? No, not really. If they do, it would be a bloody surprise. But I remember the two clowns I talked about. I had one sitting in the hall just out there, and I remember the day that I bought them, because they are old and look a bit like that. I remember sort of looking out at it, and I thought, you know, if that clown, if I look round there and that clown turns its bloody head and looks at me, I'm going to crap myself. I'll probably be out that flipping window there. So no, they don't really bother me, but if one did get up and walk over, I don't know what I'd do actually. Knowing me, I'd probably look and think, oh, what the frickin' heck? I don't know. I don't know. But as you can see, I'm not particularly bothered. Oh, she snuck a third one in. What's my favourite meal and pudding? Got loads of favourite meals because I love meals. Roast dinners and that are lovely. Chili, curry, totally flipping love those, especially if they've got some ump to them. And funny enough, chili curry I prefer with chips or something like that rather than rice, for some unknown reason. Pudding, I think it's got to be apple crumble, rhubarb crumble, with, I suppose Wales brought up loads of thick custard on it, hot custard. But at a push, I don't mind some ice cream on it, with loads of cream on top of that. I'll stick the bloody custard on just for the sake of it. That's what I like. So thank you very much for that question. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's and A-N-D big V 138. So however you pronounce all that, hi. Ask me the question, have you ever had any experience with paranormal or unusual phenomenon? Is it phenomenon? Has anyone ever believed me? Yes, I've had experiences. I've done a few videos on some of the experiences I've had. I've had some in this place here. Don't want to go into long stories, otherwise you'll get bloody sick of this video. But yeah, woman down in the flat below me, it's the same layout as this one, different decorations, but the same layout. I had that lady's sister visit me one day with information to give to her and her sister. And I've had others where the spirit comes to me. It all seems to be when somebody comes into my life, and I would take it that maybe the spirit's been trying to talk to the person that they're getting a message to, and because they're not particularly into it or anything, they just don't listen or ignore it. So they come to me, oh, he'll listen, and pass it on. Then I get flipping bombarded with it till I pass it. Do people believe me? Well, my excuse me, my view on that is that if a spirit comes to you with a message for someone, don't ever go to that person. And sometimes you don't really know that person. I've had people that have only just come into my life. I know them very, very little. But they make sure that I know who the blooming message is for. Make sure that you never go up to them and start asking them questions like, oh, have you got a sister? Have you got a brother? Is your mum dead? Is your dad dead? Blah, blah, blah. If you see a spirit and you have faith in that you've seen one and they've got a message, you've got to have faith in that. Don't go looking around for anything to verify it. You've got to have the courage and the conviction that what they're saying to you is correct, and when you go and tell the person, it's not going to be a load of bloody mumbo jumbo. Because it's not flipping easy going up to somebody and saying, I've got a message from your sister. Because they could very well turn around and go, I've never had a bloody sister. Or, yes, I've got a sister, but she's definitely not dead. Or this or that, or my mum isn't dead, or my grandfather isn't dead, and the other one isn't dead either, or whatever. So, when you know who that is and what relationship they are, you have to have faith in your abilities. You can't go asking questions, because then people won't believe you, because they'll think you're cold reading. Oh, you just got all that bloody from me. So I'll go up to the person and say, look, if I really don't know if they believe or not, I'll say, I don't know whether you believe in this sort of thing or not, but this is who I saw. So I'll tell them who I saw. I'll tell them what they told me to pass over to them. Depending on how clear I saw them, I will describe what they look like. If I didn't see them very clearly, I will pass over the clues they gave me, because sometimes they'll give you clues which don't necessarily mean much to you, but they will mean something to the person you're passing it over to. And however silly sometimes it might seem, it doesn't seem silly to the person you're passing it to. So, yeah, do that, have confidence, and just go and say it as you heard it and you saw it. And I've never had one person turn around and say, what a load of bloody cobblers, this person doesn't exist, that, whatever. And they've all known exactly what I've been talking about. And I've had the odd time where I haven't said everything that the person put over to me, or what I saw. Like one time I thought it was the woman standing next to herself, and I couldn't understand that. And the one on this side was taller than that one, just a bit taller. And I thought, that's strange, why am I seeing the same person and why is one taller? And it wasn't till I told her, and I didn't tell her everything, I just said, I couldn't understand why I was seeing you with you just the same. And she said, that's probably because most people used to say we look like twins. And then she come out with this, I didn't tell her this bit. She said, we look like twins, but she was just a little bit taller than I were. So she didn't know that. I didn't tell her. But it's a good indication to you that you're not talking a load of bloody cobblers. Just tell them it as it is. Good one. Good look for the future. Hi, Lady Black Rose. Let's have a look at your question. Do I ever feel like someone's watching me after I bring those dolls into my home. Well, I did talk a little bit about that. And they're sitting over there. Yeah, looking at me. No, but I've never felt like somebody's watching me. No, they're just nice little characters sitting over there. Never felt anything like that. So, okay, freaking used it now. And what's my favourite piece of jewellery? Oh, I've got so many bits of flipping jewellery. And what's my favourite? And if I'd have thought about this before, which I didn't because I'm doing these off cuff, I've got a ring that I wear all the time. When I go out, I take it off when I come in. It sits on that finger, and it's a replica of a Victorian mourning ring. So if somebody's died in the morning, then you'd wear a mourning ring. Very popular at that time. So yeah, that's probably my favourite in that respect. So yeah, thank you very much. Hi, Angela Jackson. 2 questions from you. First one, do companies ever notice me and send me promo items? I don't know, maybe some do, maybe they don't, but they don't. With YouTube, there's some sort of thing you can turn on and it takes you into the advertising realm or something like that, which I ain't bothered with, because I'm not particularly choose to be going into that direction really. What was the first skull I ever bought? Well, again, this is off cuff, but it's up there. It's a sort of darkish grey skull, so it's quite an old looking skull, and it was part of a set of bones about a few Halloweens back. A few Halloweens back. It was a set of bones, and I remember buying it in the shop and giving him the bag of bones back and saying I only want the skull. So, thank you very much for that as well.